resource for the knowledge workers or researchers. That is a human network. As a research, we do research and other jobs by the human networks. This is the very most significant resource, I think. So let's keep and foster this MOU and foster ourselves to the next stage of the service-related studies. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Although it has been partially mentioned, but still I organized the brief history of ICSSI and also IC-SURF. The ICSSI refers to International Conference on Service Science and Innovation. It started in 2009, the first one in Taipei, Taiwan, and followed by 4 conferences hosted held in Taipei, Shanghai, Kaohsiung, and Taipei again. For this time, it's the first time joint conferences with both society. As for the development history of IC-SURF, just mentioned, starting from 2012, however, annually hosted, established the first one in Tokyo, and followed by Yokohama, San Jose, Tokyo again, and Vietnam, and this time in Taichung, Taiwan. For the topic of the Service Plus, we apply the service as a framework for call for papers. And as for the keynote speakers, we follow this as a framework to invite renowned scholars. Service Plus refers to science, engineering, reinventing value, integration, co-creation, economy, and plus. And we follow this framework to invite people coming from different society, backgrounds, technology, research, design, industry, company, education, and more. And we invited the following 6 keynote speakers, whose backgrounds, the first one is industry in design, scientist and art educator, engineer and entrepreneur, and it's from the company mainly for marketing strategy and management, outsourcing and manufacturing, and also from human informatics, AIST. So basically, I'm quite satisfied by for the arrangement of the keynote. However, something happened just 10 days ago. For the first keynote, whose name is Maggie Pong, the Vice Secretary Peggy Fu mentioned one time in May this year that how can we invite someone from renowned design company like the IDEO? I think, yeah, that's a good idea. So I contact with one of them. This guy is my student in NCKU. He is now working for IDEO Shanghai. And he recommended his design lead, whose name is Maggie Pong. And we contact through email. She said, nice to email you. The conference looks super interesting. She's willing to come. And on July 8th, I visited Maggie in person in Shanghai to send the invitation letter. However, everything settled down. On October 24th, she mailed me that she said she was so sorry to inform us that she will not be able to come this time due to their visa and their work permit application. I asked one of my friends in my mainland. The Chinese government only issued a visa for limited numbers of entrants 2 times. So if she come to this event, she will not be able to go back to work anymore. So, situation like this, I also received a lot of suggestions from President Liang, Becky, and more about replacement of someone who can also give a good talk. However, I noticed that only she is from design, but if we don't have someone from design and from the industry, how can we find someone who can replace her? Which means I have to manage the complaints from the participants, or we have to make a contingency plan. So I decided to make a contingency plan by design to meet the goal that was set in the beginning. This becomes a problem to solve. And the problem, normally people would describe it as a box. So we have to think out of the box. How to think out of the box? I think this is not a replacement of her speech, but to introduce you the gift we prepare for the keynotes. It will be in theory and very academic way of expressing, introducing the gift for keynote speakers. Normally, we think problems as a box. So box as a metaphor for problem solving is commonly seen. But why box? How come we were trapped in the box? Which means the problem and myself are inside the box. How can we think out of the box? And no one knows it. So maybe the gift is in the box. So unwrap the package representing the problem-solving process. As for problem solving, it involves at least the three elements: problem, problem solver, and the box. Therefore, at least there are three approaches for problem solving: problem-based strategy, box-centered strategy, and problem solver-oriented strategies. As for the first one, I use the word I will be fine as long as the problem does not bother me. This is one way of solving problem. Or make problems smaller but still bothering me. However, it emulates like the optimal solution. Or we kill the problem, so there's no problem, but I'm still in the box alone. That may be a new problem. So these are the negative side thinking, which trapped us in the box. Second type of strategy, box-centered. If we can break the wall of the box, then we can solve the problem. However, we were facing the situation to break the norms or the laws, which is more difficult. Or we can dig a manhole, however, it still breaks the wall as well. Well, someone said that we can redefine the box or wall, maybe, from locking to protecting us. Or we can get help, get the problem out of the box, which is also a way of thinking. And however, I'm still trapped in the box. So, could no problem, if the box is not in the box, if the problem is not in the box, could no problem be a problem? This becomes a new problem to solve. The third type, problem solver oriented. Who's going to solve the problem? By myself or by others? Or alone or by a group of people? How to get myself out of the box, leave the problem in box, may be an effective way of solving problems. Or we can find someone to help, or someone to some creative ways to get it out. So, is it possible that we do nothing, just let the problem solve itself? That could be the way of thinking out of the box. So let's try this way, how to let the problem solve itself. If we want to do this, it involves a philosophical thinking. It's more than design thinking. And like the wormhole, it's a whole that is not a whole, but conceptually it exists. And how about create a helper to get me out of the box without solving the problem? Or we create a bunch of helpers and choose the one we like. So several years ago, I invented a theory called the mirror theory, which can do this, the same effect. Let me describe what's inside in the box. Me in the problem, inside in the dark room. We could always get the help from design method to think positively, or from one of the directions to get out of the box. From here, if this is the negative side and this is the positive side, positive thinking will be some direction towards this side, or negative thinking, let the things getting worse, or useless thinking. However, we're always in the box, and finally, through many design improvement methods, we can get an optimal solution. If we describe in mathematics, it's from a serious problem to a less serious problem. However, it's a least complaint situation or most compromised situation, still in the box. And if this is no problem, does no problem represent that solution or new problem? This is all happen in the negative side, but we do need to think out of the box on the positive side. So how to create satisfaction or beyond expectation. Therefore, we need to apply some philosophical thinking to help us to get out of the box. If we place a mirror at the 0 point, which represents no problem, if we replace the wall by a mirror, then we can stand on the side with the problem and look through the mirror to see me appear on the other side of the wall. I can get out of the box right now. And also, we can see a complaint behave just the opposite. If a complaint is negative, then an opposite complaint will be the positive reaction. So with this, we can solve the situation. Therefore, by looking at the satisfaction or the wish for a solution, we can get us always a way for implementation. Therefore, this might be a way to get out of the box if we define problems as a series of complaints. This is a scientific notion to represent complaints or problems. Through the mirror can function in two approaches. One is called the negative one, turning the situation less worse, or non one, which means we can create a new solution without solving the current problems. Therefore, we can get as many solutions as we can through the mirror. On the left-hand side, it's like turning expensive products turning something expensive into something cheap. That is the negative one mirror. For the non-one mirror, it's turning expensive concept into a valuable concept. It becomes a luxury item, and finally becomes a prestige. Therefore, it changed the whole mindset of the negative thinking. Therefore, I call this side the dark side, the other side bright side. How to think bright side? It's very language specific. On this side, negative one, and this side, non-one. One is language specific. Maybe that's my personal observation. I think almost every Japanese people are polite and patient because they have to listen until the very end to find out the meaning. In Taiwanese or in Chinese, I love you means something positive, but the negative verb will be placed at the end in Japanese, right? So I love you, we still need to wait for the last words. Okay, so this is language specific, so we can use leverage the power of language for us to uncover the beauty of the bright side. And therefore, we can define problem into a series of complaints, and the complaints can also be defined as a unfulfilled wish. Therefore, through the mirror, we get the wish. How to make it, and how many ideas we can generate. If we have four process in our user experience journey. Therefore, we have 2 to the power of 4 solutions. So for each quadrant, we have this amount of solutions for us to choose. If I give you an example of how to do that, these are the examples I've tested in the last 10 years. For this one, in 2010, some company in Taipei invited me to design a so-called smart bus stop. I think this is too easy, so I suggest that can I change the subject from the bus stop to a smart transportation service system with the same price and with the same deadline. The company says, okay, they haven't seen someone stupid as I did. And therefore, I re-describe the process of taking a bus into this scenario. Someone in the group, they wait at the specific time and wait at the certain location for the bus to come. However, the bus is all scheduled, so they have to follow the fixed routine, and there's no guarantee for me to get in the bus for a seat, and there's no information for transfer reminded, and it just stopped at the predetermined place, which is the closest station to the station, not the closest spot to my destination. So if I can change the keywords from restricted or limited into as you wish, therefore the whole mindset and the solution emerged. Okay, now I can generate 2 to the power of 6 the amount of ideas, and every idea is a system, a holistic solution. So from this way, I could generate at least 127 solutions for me to choose. And it could be divided into 2 parts. On this part is less innovative ideas. And here, radical innovative ideas. Okay, what happens if I flip all the way from the first step to the end? I get the result. A passenger or a group waiting, they don't need to wait. They could take the bus any time in the day, at any place in the city, and the bus will tailor to their need to take them to wherever they go. And they will always reserve a seat for you and remind where to transfer and take you to the designated spot, which is nearest spot to your destination. This is a wonderful bus service, but how can we make it real? If we give it a name, it will be bus on demand. Is it possible in year 2010? Let me see the history. The idea was brought in 2010 July, and we see Uber also and brought into the market in 2010, and we will see that CPS was widely adopted in 1994, and the first iPhone introduced 2007. So everyone has a smartphone who can signal the GPS to the bus station. So therefore, technically, there's no problem at all at the time I brought the idea. However, what's good about this bus service system in comparison with the Uber system? Uber is a business that rich people, they can use their vehicles to earn more money. However, it compels poor people, to lose their job and or opportunity to earn money. So by this bus on demand innovation, we could have a fair social justice. And I found that the mirror can really help us to think out of the box, so we could use it to design product, service, system, strategy, or develop technology, planning business, or reinventing the industry, and most importantly, to provide different value proposition. And my background is industry design. Therefore, I choose some products to redesign them. In every night market, there's a vendor called the steakhouse. Frequently, consumers complain the tabletop is so greasy, so they are less willing to put anything on top of it. And the owner, they complain the greasy tabletop as well, because it took their time and energies to clean it up. So how to solve it? Do we need to have developed a better detergent or different structure on a molecular level? This is the solution we get. If we complain the table, how about taking out the table? Without table, we don't have a chance to complain the table. Will make the process a lot more easier. When we need a table, we have a table, so that people no longer being bothered by the table. Time, so I stopped here, and I further explore whether it can be help to solve a political issue. For example, I hosted a conference in year 2016 at Chiang Mai, Thailand. One of the presenter, who is American, she is helping the UNESCO to solve the Asian elephants reservation, because they see there's a group of elephants living on the border of Thailand and Burma, and the number of elephant decreases because they eat and stampede the crops, so that make the farmers very angry, and therefore the farmers hurt them and get rid of the elephant and sometimes kill them. And how to solve this problem? The left-hand side is the situation. The elephants steal crops, farmers lose in anger, and they get rid of the elephants and hurt and shoot them. Elephant groups reduces, and farmers needs to survive, and there's a conflict continues between the two sides. If we change the keywords from negative into positive, we will get the result. Elephant get crops, farmers gain and happy. Welcome elephants, protect and feed the elephants. Therefore, the elephant amount increases, and they developed continues. So what would be the policy for the elephant? Turning the farmers into the feeders. And UNESCO purchased the crops as the feed for the elephant. So that make a win-win situation for 3 sides, not only 2 sides, elephant, UNESCO, and the farmers. And this will also contribute something to technology development. For instance, people use cell phone a lot. Here is the in a vibrating environment. How to deal with this situation that make dizzy or harm our eyes. If we can invent a situation like this, it would be a better solution to be used in a vibrating environment. However, picture is not challenging. Reading words are more challenging. Therefore, we try to solve this problem. How to deal with that? When the vibrating level escalating, we can drag the text. So this will be an ideal situation for us to develop the technology. It took us only a week to figure out the results, but it took us more than 8 months to set up the experiment and prove it's valid. And after 9 months, my student and I think this is a good idea, so we apply for an invention patent. And 2 years later, we received a notice from the IP Intellectual Property Bureau saying that I'm sorry that your application was rejected because we noticed that we find that there is an application filed 3 months ahead of yours. Who filed the application? Apple. If I don't delay for 8 months, then I'll be the first one who filed the application. Even though the result is not so happy, but I'm quite confident about the method that can help me to do things or to innovate things more effectively. And for this event, I also did some designs. As you may receive this morning, this is the first time you receive cakes as present. Okay, she's not here. She received my assignment 4 months ago. You must learn how to bake and prepare the cookies. So this is one first time you receive a souvenir that can be eaten, right? And therefore, be a bright side thinker will probably be a way of solving problems or think out of the box. But what's the gift I picked for the keynote speakers? This again apply the mirror theory, and this thing was happened in year 2013 when there are a lot of lotus farmer. They don't know how to make money out of their crops. They first turn the flower into lotus tea like this, but no one knows how to drink the tea. So as you can see that a bunch of lotus tea, dry lotus tea, and put it into water and float, and then it becomes this way.